Hey guys, welcome to the Closers podcast. Today is, I don't even know what today is, April 8th, 2020. A day that will live in infamy for probably the rest of my lifetime at least. Is the day that Bernie Sanders suspended his presidential campaign. As you can hear, I'm not the most happy person right now. And there's no intro music, no outro music. It's just not a happy day. It's not a happy time for a number of reasons, but the most recent reason getting added to the list is Bernie Sanders not being in the race anymore for president. I don't think there's another situation where in which Bernie Sanders, his campaign premise could be more just blatantly necessary in our country with the pandemic going on. I mean, I just don't really know what to say other than I'm I'm just disheartened that we have to vote for a dementia-ridden old man in Joe Biden or a fucking dumbass in Donald Trump. One's dumb because he's just fucking stupid. The other's dumb because he's just too old and his brain is just gone. And you can tell. So basically, who we're going to be voting for is the vice president of whoever Joe Biden is going to be. And the Democrats can quite literally just pick that person. Because Joe Biden is so far entrenched in the establishment of the Democratic Party that there's to think that Joe Biden, being in the state that he is right now, is going to be able to just be like, you know what, policy wise, I feel like me and this person mesh just perfectly. Get the fuck out of here. If you really think that that is how things are going to be, then you are severely disillusioned. He doesn't know what the fuck is going on. There's dozens, if not, hundreds of YouTube clips showing him just not understanding what is happening, just being an old man, like not an old man that knows what's happening. Like he should be in a home. It is that bad. So I'm very disappointed in this country. It makes me question, like the collective IQ of this country. I know it's not high, but I thought at least people would put the puzzle pieces together enough so they understand, like, oh, this guy is going to do what I want him to do. And what I'm referring to is that in every state on Super Tuesday and before that voted, every exit poll showed that the Democratic electorate in that respective state agreed with Bernie Sanders on every position. Universal health care, climate change, union rights, all these things. Removing the student debt, expunging debt, free college, all these great policies. Overwhelmingly people voted or people agreed with Bernie on that. But the one thing that they all collectively thought, for some reason, they didn't think that he could beat Trump. They thought Biden could. That's the one poll that Biden won. And because everybody thought that Bernie Sanders could not beat fucking Trump. Here we are today. And I think that's the most sad, because people can't really look deep enough and think deep enough to realize, well, wow, I agree with almost everything this guy's saying, Bernie Sanders. So if I agree with him, I'd vote for him in the general election. Meaning that he has a chance to win. Also, if you look at 2016, there were a lot of Bernie voters who voted for Trump. A lot. Some might say that they swung the election. Now, there's no way to accurately say that for sure, but there's a theory out there. I can see that being reality. And now everyone's calling for unity. Of course. Unity, unity, unity. Vote for blue no matter who. Well, guess what, dude? If you're from California, your vote doesn't fucking matter, because this state is voting blue regardless. So I could vote for fucking Vernon Supreme on the independent ticket, and it wouldn't damn fucking matter. No one cares about my vote. My vote doesn't matter. If you're from California or an overwhelmingly blue state, it literally is not going to matter. It's not. It's just not. Just like if you're from an overwhelmingly Republican state, it's just not going to matter. The states that really matter are the swing states. And you know who you are. You know who you are. But the vote for blue no matter who movement, if you can even call it a movement, it's just like a hashtag. To me, I think is just a severely flawed argument. So basically, what you're saying is you want people to vote based on party lines, regardless of political principles or beliefs. It's just, you're closest to this color, vote for the person running under that color. And that's what the establishment wants. That's the funniest thing. That's what they want. They want it to come down to, well, you gotta vote for blue. You gotta vote for blue now. That's what they fucking want. They want that. But guess what? Even if every Bernie supporter voted for Biden, Trump would still probably win. Because if you think about it, if you look, most Bernie supporters are on the coasts. They just are. That's why his campaign this time around, admittedly, wasn't as strong as his 2016 campaign. He spent more time on the coasts, and he wouldn't go after people in debates at all. He wouldn't act aggressive, which was a hallmark of his campaign. He wanted to run a campaign that was super honest, that wasn't like any other political campaign, and it really, really wasn't. You know, it was very unique because he didn't attack people outwardly unless he was attacked. He was never provoking, and he wanted to talk about specific policies. And he got very far with that, but, you know, not far enough. But going back to the vote for blue no matter who, like, to me, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, I understand, you know, the only reason to vote for Biden if you're a Bernie supporter, the only reason is that Biden, if elected, or his vice president, because at this point his vice president might have to step in after like not even a year. So either Biden or the VP, which I'm really thinking might be Kamala Harris. which will be the worst travesty in modern political history. At least, for this century. And there's been a lot of travesty this century already. So, shit, man. But, Biden or his VP would nominate a Democratic Supreme Justice, which is a good thing. I mean, right now, as it stands, the Republicans have the majority in the Supreme Court, and Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and I believe there's a second Democratic judge. I forgot what his name is. I think it's a him. I believe. I'm not well versed on the Supreme Court, but there's 2 Supreme Court justices who are Democrats that are going to probably retire or die in office. I think you have to die in office with your Supreme Court justice, I believe. You can't retire from the position. You just have to keep going. And they're not going to make it very much longer. They're probably going to die within the next 4 years. So Biden or his VP would have the chance to replace those 2 Supreme Court justices with other Democratic leaning Supreme Court justices, which I believe is a positive thing. That is like the only positive thing that could come out of a Biden presidency. Let's look at what it would look like if he became president. Look around you right now. It's literally the same thing. It's the same. 10 million Americans would still be uninsured. Hundreds of millions more are going to be underinsured. And the rich are going to get richer. The poor are going to keep getting poorer. People are going to still be dissatisfied, but they'll be content. At least the people who are upper middle class to the billionaire class will be content. They'll be fine. You're still going to have your iPhones. You're still going to have your video games. The sports are going to come back eventually. And the country will start chugging along like always. Oh, you get sick? You have to take an ambulance? You'll be in debt forever. But, the country's going to chug along anyways. Oh, you want to go to college? Okay, go to college. Here's some loans with a 25% interest rate. Yeah. Pay us back, the rest of your life. Make it so your kids even have to pay back your debt after you're dead. There's a lot of instances of that happening. That's our country. It's just going to keep chugging along. Climate change. Oh yeah, we're just going to keep dumping, millions of tons of fucking trash in the sea. Are we going to still burn fossil fuels at an alarming rate? Oh, of course we are. It's the private sector's problem to deal with climate change. Us at the government, we have bigger fish to fry. Like impeaching a president and then allowing him to use that as fuel for his next campaign. The fuck out of here. Nothing's going to change. Nothing. With Biden. With Trump too, nothing's going to change either. Currently, what's happening is going to keep happening. The rich are going to get richer, the poor are going to get poorer, regardless of who you get fucking voted in. Regardless. Joe Biden, over the years, has constantly said he's going to cut social spending across the board. That means Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, everything. Everything. Guess what Trump's doing? That's what he wants to do too. So there's no difference between the two other than Trump is brash and rude and obnoxious, and Biden is senile. That's it. That's literally the only difference. There's nothing that's going to change. And that's why it's such a sad day, because Bernie Sanders wanted to change things at a close to fundamental level. Medicare for all. Everybody have insurance as a right. Healthcare. If you get sick, you're not in debt. How simple of a concept. Oh, if you get sick, you're not in debt $20,000. For some people, for a lot of people out there, that's a death sentence. Bernie Sanders wanted to change that. But for some reason, people just did not want to get behind it. And of course, you know, the media has a lot to do with it too. They have an obvious political leaning. It is not even, you can't even contest it at this point. I mean, it's so blatant. It just, you know, makes no, they make no qualm, they don't try to hide it. They constantly, you know, they constantly left Bernie out of so many, you know, TV graphics, constantly tried to paint all of his supporters as Bernie bros, which makes it seem like all of Bernie's supporters were just these sexist, you know, douchebag frat boys with that nickname. Which nothing could have been farther from the truth. Were his fans passionate? Yes. Obviously, they were. That's what you wanted a political campaign. Do people as individuals say things that are stupid that just make them seem like bad people sometimes? Yeah. Every political candidate has had supporters that have said things that have been out of line. That's not new. That's not a new thing. But the media, of course, used that successfully, apparently, to take the steam out of Bernie Sanders' momentum and swung it towards Joe Biden. And of course, on Bloody Monday, the day before Super Tuesday, Obama reportedly made calls to Pete Buttigieg and Amy Klobuchar. Tell them, drop out. Drop out of the race. Yeah. And we all know what happened. People swung dramatically towards Joe Biden. People that hadn't heard Joe Biden talk in years. Magically were just like, oh, well, you know, Joe Biden. Obama is VP. He's a good guy. I like Joe Biden. Yeah, okay. Well, name me one Joe Biden policy position. You can't do it. You can't. You just can't. Bernie Sanders, you can name 5 right off the bat. But it doesn't matter now. It doesn't matter now because now we have to choose between one rapist or another. And this is America. This is America 2020. 2 presidents, 2 presidential candidates. One's actually the president right now. The other hopes to be. Well, actually, does he? Because he doesn't even know what's happening. So, I don't know. 2 people who don't want any sort of change amongst healthcare. Actually, they want to take more healthcare away from people. Put it more in the private sector. Yeah, it's exactly what we need. Exactly. People are dying from this virus. People are scared. People are realizing, oh, Bernie Sanders, you know, might not have been too wrong here. Actually makes a lot of sense. He drops out because of pressure from the Democratic establishment. And now we have two candidates, two people who don't want any change at all. No change. Nothing. So, welcome to the decade. It's going to be a shitty one. And hope we're all ready for it. I'm not. Hopefully, during this quarantine, we'll all be able to kind of get ready, brace ourselves for just more disappointment, more lost hope, and more broken dreams. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Anyways, that's it. I just wanted to come on here and quickly tell you my thoughts on the whole Bernie Sanders dropping out situation. Really sad. It's over. No more Bernie. 8 years of, well, no, not 8. What the fuck? It's 4. Yeah, 2015 to 2020. It was a fun ride, Bernie. And you deserved better. We all deserved better. And you were the better we needed, but not everybody thought so. They want more of the same. Some more of the broken system that got us into this mess in the first place. That's failed us for the whole century. But it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, we'll be comfy in our houses. Who cares about everybody else, right? This is America. But yeah, I'm gonna go now. I have a show with one of my friends from Switzerland on Sunday. Stay tuned for that. His name's Jonathan Nowak. He has a podcast as well called Alle was Gesundest. It's a Swiss-German podcast. If you speak German or Swiss German, check it out. It's everywhere. He'll be on to talk about probably this and the whole pandemic situation and his podcast. So it'll be fun. Anyways, without any further ado, I'll bid you an adieu. Take care.